Hi everybody, welcome to Jin's Wall Street News. Dan Niles, the founder of Niles Investment Management, said on Wednesday after the bell, quote, "The problem that the stock market had before are still in existence. You still have high valuations." The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported Thursday that the Consumer Price Index decreased 0.1% in March from the previous month. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, the number of Americans claiming unemployment benefits increased from 219,000 to 223,000 in the week ending April 5th, still low by historical standards. The US dollar index falls to 100.2, which made US stocks down on Thursday. S&P 500 dropped 3.46% and the Nasdaq Composite tumbled 4.31%. Dan Niles, the founder of Niles Investment Management, discussed the US stock market with CNBC, quote, "I think you can't fix all your positioning problems in a day. So I'll take you back to when Lehman Brothers failed. Right back then the government made a huge mistake as well. They let Lehman Brothers fail. The market was getting craters. And then on October 28th, there was expectations of rate cuts and the S&P was up 10.8% in one day. It then gained another 6.9% over the next 5 trading days before failing 25% to November 2008. I think probably the two things I'm looking at are S&P was near 5,700 before it held up that chart. That's probably near where the upside is. And I look at the VIX. The VIX was at about 22 on April 2nd. If the VIX gets down back to those levels, I would say okay, now we can go back to focusing on fundamentals. The problem that the stock market had before are still in existence. You still have high valuations, you have tariffs, they were just not as high as they originally were, and that's inflationary. Earnings estimates have been going down for the S&P 500 since the middle of last year. 6 of the Max 7 had revenue estimate cut for the March quarter when they reported in their December quarter. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported Thursday that the Consumer Price Index decreased 0.1% in March from the previous month, up 2.4% over the last 12 months, below expectations of 2.6%. The index for energy fell 2.4%, especially gasoline index dropped 6.3% in March from a month ago. The core CPI, excluding food and energy, increased 0.1% in March month over month, up 2.8% on a yearly basis, lower than expectations of 3%. The Shelter Index, one of the most stubborn components of inflation, increased just 0.2%, and the index for transportation services fell 1.4%. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, the number of Americans claiming unemployment benefits increased from 219,000 to 223,000 in the week ending April 5th, still low by historical standards. In addition, the number of Americans receiving benefits after an initial week of aid decreased from 1,893,000 to 1,858,000 in the week ending March 29th. It looks excellent. The US dollar index drops to 100.2 mostly in the Asian trading session, which usually has lower trading activity compared to the North American trading session. Falling US dollar index made investors feel more nervous about the US stock market. US stocks plummeted Thursday, but it rebounded after the big beautiful bill was passed. Even though I agree with Dan Niles' idea, I'm optimistic on the US stock market, at least in the near term, because of the good labor markets, the good inflation numbers, and tax cuts, which help improve earnings. Okay, this is the end of today's news. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend.